Howdy everybody, everything new under the sun. This is an unbox of a VONETS Wi-Fi repeater / bridge. VONETS, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it is a high performance Wi-Fi repeater bridge. And this unit is fairly cheap, about 30 bucks, and I got it to hook up a Midnight Solar charge controller to the internet so I could track it. So looking around the box, on the back of it you'll notice it has almost a quick start guide there with the Wi-Fi password, the default password, the config URL that you gotta go to, the IP address range and the subnet that it's on, the username, password for the actual access to the device. Now this particular one is the VAP11G-300, so this is a 300 megabit unit, and apparently it's supposed to go 100 meters. Now in my particular scenario, I needed to go about 50 meters, but that's through walls of a house. The next range up, the VAP11G500, goes 500 meters, and it apparently also is an access point client, a Wi-Fi repeater, and a Wi-Fi bridge. This one is just a Wi-Fi bridge. So the unbox goes like this. There is the unit itself. I'm going to take that out. We've got a QR code there with a thank you. I assume it takes you to the website. It's got some Chinese on there. Some certificate, I don't know what all this is, I guess of a QA, quality assurance test. Then you get this little paper manual here, little booklet, and it's got a fair amount of information, to be absolutely honest. They do a good job putting a lot of information there. It is Chinglish, as they say. It's usable, it's certainly usable. It's got actually a number of color pictures in it. You can see there, color pictures. Various examples of how you're going to use this unit, also the transmission distance of various models of this particular unit. So the one I got is the purple guy, obviously, and we'll see that in a second. It's a fairly easy setup, although the interface itself isn't the most straightforward, to be honest. There's no particular wizard, but all in all, it seems straightforward. All you do is, as long as you know how to generally set up a wireless router access point, then you can kind of fudge this one and enter in stuff and get this thing going. Like I say, I'm using it for a bridge, and it's powered by USB, which is really cool, or between 5 and 15 volts. And why I like that is because it's going on a 12-volt solar setup, so I can wire this directly to the battery and have it run off 12 volts, which is brilliant, or simply run it off USB, the 5 volts there. You have a secondary input also for power, but you can use the USB if you want. Then it has a network jack. So my particular setup is a charge controller that only has an Ethernet jack. So this comes with an Ethernet jack, and it basically makes anything that has an Ethernet jack a Wi-Fi client. Here you can see the 5 to 15 volts. That's really key and really handy to have that range of ability there. So like I say, in my case, off-grid solar case, I'm going to plug it into 12 volts. And then even on the back of this unit, so you don't forget, it has the config URL and the IP address, subnet range that it's on, the password. So they do a really good job of putting the key information there, because you're going to lose the manual. You're not gonna know where it is years down the road. You're just gonna look on the back of it and be able to configure it. On the back of it, there also is a reset button, which you can use to get it back to factory default settings. When you do plug it into your computer, you plug in the Ethernet jack, and the USB is simply for power. What I'm going to do is hook it up to my MacBook so that I can go configure it as a bridge, and then what I'll do is I'll test the MacBook and see if I'm able to access the internet simply through the unit itself. So in this case, the Wi-Fi is turned off right now. So the first thing you want to do is go to the URL. Of course, I was just testing to go to CNN.com to see if it would work. And then you want to go to the VONETS config here. It will show up in a second once it actually connects. So what I did here, I had to go into my network config. I had to switch from DHCP and then back to manual and then back to DHCP, so it would grab an IP address from the bridge itself. The bridge does have a DHCP server on it. So you'll see in a second here I'll go to manual and then back to DHCP, and it will eventually come up with an IP address from the bridge itself. I know it's the bridge because the rest of my Wi-Fi network is a 192.168.5.x range, and so this one is a 254.x range for the IP address there. And then once it finally does get its IP address, then you're able to go to the config and go ahead and load it. So we pull up a browser, we go to VONETS CFG, and here's where you enter the admin. That's the default username and password here. Of course, we leave English. It's a fairly nice splash page, for $30, not bad. Now here it will search for Wi-Fi signals, and then you can pick the one that you want to connect to, because we want to use this as a bridge. This is the one it's going to be interacting with. So I pick my particular Wi-Fi network, click next. There's a bit of a wizard there. Now the source Wi-Fi password, I think this is the password that actually is for the main access, your main Wi-Fi network. I don't know. I don't even know why it's plain text, to be honest. But as a bridge, it will pass you through, and you'll be able to get in, obviously, with your own device to it. And that also serves, apparently, as the password for the hotspot. I know a particular professional on this interface. It's certainly a little weird. They seem to have a lot of options here. They've got some wireless security. You can turn on and off the local hotspot. It has a DHCP server on it. That's the LAN settings there. And you have some options for the speed of the LAN port itself. So kind of interesting settings there. You can set the host name of it. Restart the device. You can update its firmware. Export its firmware to a local file. Again, just going through the settings. Read the manual. There's a bunch of options that you don't really need, but it's fairly full-featured in terms of your basic repeater bridge. And then, of course, you can update the password, which is highly recommended so people don't get in there and just hack all your settings out of there. So then on the operating status page, you can see that it is in bridge mode. That's exactly what we need to get a device that only has Ethernet jack on a Wi-Fi network. And then the next thing is to go ahead, and if all is good, you may need to reboot the unit. If all is good, then you can go ahead to your browser and see if you can actually load a page. So that's what I do. I went to CNN, and it loaded fine, and all was good there. So overall, for I think it was $33, it does what it's supposed to do. It's nice that you can just test it with your own laptop simply by turning off the Wi-Fi and testing this device out. Because what you then want to do is go ahead and plug this directly into another device, which you may not be able to configure very easily through whatever interfaces it has. I know the manual IP address assignment for the charge controller that I want to make wireless, you have to, there's no keyboard on it, so you have to punch buttons up and down to get the IP address in there. So you want to make sure the unit is actually working and connecting to your Wi-Fi and that you can surf, and that it's all configured as you need with the updated passwords, etc. So all in all, for the price, a fairly good device to get what would otherwise be a hardwired device like a charge controller, even a printer, onto your Wi-Fi / wireless network. So that's it for the unbox, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Hey y'all, so I'm reviewing this bridge. It works exactly the way it's supposed to. It's very teeny tiny. It's very, very small. My hand looks way bigger on this video, but my hand is very, very small. It's plugged in. I'm actually using it right now. It works how it's supposed to, and the only thing is the setup can be a little tricky. So people have videos online to like set it up and stuff like that. So just follow the video and you'll be fine. Alrighty, bye.